problem here out of 1.4, and we're supposed to be solving, let's see, supposed to be solving this equation right here. So the student already kind of did it. They just had a couple of questions, so I want to kind of go over this for us, okay? So I'm going to rewrite the problem on my next slide. So let's see, negative 6x squared equals negative 13x plus 13. So negative 6x squared equals negative 13x plus 13. Okay, so one thing I recommend, guys, is when we're going to solve these types of problems that have the x squareds, these quadratic equations, I don't want this term, the term with the x squared, I don't want it to be negative. I think it just makes the problem a little bit more complicated to work with when we're going to use, say, the quadratic formula. And I think it's a lot easier if we move that term over to this side of the equation so that now we have 0 equals a positive 6x squared, right? Because we crossed the equal sign, equals a negative 13x plus 13. And then I'm going to use the quadratic formula. And if you remember from the quadratic formula, there's 3 things I need to know. And those are A, B, and C, right? So A is 6, B is a minus 13, and C is a positive 13. So when I come to the quadratic formula, remember, and I think I even sang it to you, x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, right? And I know it's corny, but before the pandemic hit, guys, and I would teach college algebra, during the test you'd hear people, right, because they were doing it too, okay? So anywho, now let's go ahead and go through the formula. So guys, remember, when I'm doing my formula, I don't try to do any simplifying at first. I just do a straight plug and chug. So the first thing says put a negative. There's my negative. Then it says put the number b. B is a negative 13. So I'm going to put it right here. Plus or minus square root b squared. So we said b was negative 13. We're going to square it, right? Minus 4 times a, which is 6, times c, which is 13. Okay. All over 2 times a, 2 times 6. Now I'm going to start simplifying. So negative and negative become positive. Plus or minus big square root. Negative 13, when I square it, is 169. Now I'm going to multiply this part here. I'm going to use my calculator. So it's negative 4 times 6 times 13. So let me clear this out. Negative 4 times 6 times 13. Negative 312. Okay, so come back here. Minus 312. All over 12, okay? And let's see, let's do 169 minus 312. 169 minus 312, negative 143, okay. So now we're going to have x is equal to 13 plus or minus square root of negative 143 all over 12. Let me go to the next slide. So x equals 13 plus or minus negative 143 all over 12. Now, I can break down 143, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I think 143, I'm pretty sure I can divide it by 11. Yeah, but it's just 11 and 13, okay? So the reason why I'm doing that, guys, remember, I'm trying to see if I can break down this number, 143. I know there's a negative there. We'll deal with that in a little bit. It's 11 and 13. Since I'm taking the square root of this, I'm trying to see if I can simplify those, but I can't break down the square root of 11. I can't break down the square root of 13. So anywho, I'm going to have 13 plus or minus. Since we do have this negative on the inside, we're going to take out the I, square root of 143 all over 12. Now, you can probably write your answer like this in MyLab, but if it asks you to separate it, then you're going to write 13 plus I square root of 143 all over 12, right? That would be your first answer. And the other answer would be 13 minus I square root of 143 all over 12. We really have 2 answers. Guys, the other thing I want to mention, so I'm writing my answer like this, but when you're entering your answer in MyLab, you're not going to put the x equals. You're just going to put what I have right here. Or if it allows you to write it as like a combined answer, and the reason I say it's combined is because we have that plus and minus. So it lets me know I'm doing 2 different things. One of them I'm adding, one of them I'm subtracting, right? So the student's question was, here we go. So they actually separated theirs out. They wrote it as 13 over 12. They just kind of broke down that fraction a little bit more. but you can leave it like this right here, and it'll take your answer just the same, okay? So anyway, just wanted to give you a heads up. This problem again was out of 1.4. You got any questions? Let me know.